Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a presentation on OEWeb, a content management system for everyone to use for open educational resources. Your presenters today, myself, Stefano Stefan, along with Larry Cooperman. Larry's online and will be working with me to answer questions as they come up. And Larry's the Associate Dean for Open Education here at UCI, and I'm the Director of Open Education Projects. The two of us work together, along with a few students that we've hired, to make the entire open education effort possible here at UCI, and the software that we're about to show you is going to make that possible so that the small staff can actually handle the entire campus's open education efforts. So today we'll start off by taking a look at the product from the user's perspective, what a potential student or instructor who wants to use open educational materials would see. Then we'll look at the back end, how you as an administrator would set things up. There's various features that allow you to customize the web application. What you'll be seeing is actually how we've set it up here for our use at UC Irvine. But there's a way that you can customize it for your own organization, for your own campus, with your own colors and logo and so forth. And then finally, we'll touch upon where you can get OEWeb for yourself. And at the end, we'll have questions and answers. Larry will be on hand to answer the tough questions, and I'll be happy to take the easy ones. All right, so let's get started. All right, so OEWeb basically focuses on courses. Now, you'll see here that we have something called collections. You can take your courses, organize them into collections. It might be a degree program, it might be a conference, anything of that sort. Within a course, we have lectures. And here at UCI, what we've done is we've videotaped many courses, many lectures, and put them into the open education repository. In addition to lectures, you can have files. It could be a syllabus, it might be homework problems, it might be some ancillary notes or any kind of a handout that goes along with the course. So let's take a look at the front end, and in fact, let's go right now to the website, and here's our home page. And let's just dive into it. Let's look at a course. So we'll click on courses. And let's pick a chemistry course. How about Chem 51B? Let's take a look at that one. So we'll start the course. And here is what basically you'll see. So you have some course information, could be the course description. Here's a nice photo of the instructor. We have information about the books. It could be one book, could be several books. It might be something that the instructor has authored. There's a variety of ways that you can use it. And then, of course, down here we have the all-important Creative Commons attribution. On the left, we have the actual contents, and you can organize them. In this case, we've organized them by weeks. So a week would have several lectures. And then the lecture page has a link to a YouTube. All of our videos are up on YouTube. And you click on play, and away it goes.
Okay, so we are going to hopefully finish chapter 8 today. We're a little behind, right? So we'll figure out something to get ourselves caught up at some point in the quarter.
So these are real lectures in front of live students. So students online, or students looking at the course materials, can have essentially the same experience that a real student here at UCI would have. There's also other information available here. And in the case of our chemistry lectures, we have indexed them, so it's possible to instantly go to any particular topic.
So when we've been talking about mechanism, one of the things that we do is we use kinetics to help us figure out what the mechanism is.
See, it jumped right to the point in the middle of the video where that topic is discussed. And you'll also notice that this took you directly to the YouTube site. All right, so that's the front end. Now let's take a look at the back end. All right, so here's a little bit of a graphic depiction of how things work. I mentioned collections and courses and so forth. So you'll see that a collection is really a container for a set of courses. And each course is a container in its own right that contains lectures and files. So these are the basic components. Each one of these has some basic information connected to it, and the OEWeb application has a form that you fill in for each of these that provide all the necessary bits of information. So let's take a look at the back end. We just started there with the dashboard. You saw that for just a moment. We'll come back to that dashboard many times. And there's a nice feature. It's a security feature that lets you, that logs you out if there's inactivity for a while. So I just had to get myself back in. And here is what we call the OCW list, Open Courseware. So these are all the different elements. Anything that could be uploaded into the system winds up in this very long list. So let's take a look at what we have for Chem 51B. And you'll notice as I'm typing that it's automatically searching. So I need to put a space here. And here's all the stuff that's connected to Chem 51B. We have files. So these are actually lecture notes that the professor has uploaded and made available. Here we have the actual lectures. Each of these corresponds to a YouTube video, as I just showed you. And then over here, sort of in the alphabetical order that it's listed, we have the actual course. So let's click on Edit. And here's the form that I mentioned. So if you were setting up a brand new course, you'd begin to fill in all this information, the title, the different categories, and the categories have to be already input into the system in order to be selectable. So we have all the different categories, all the different topics that are applicable to UCI, and you can customize this to make them applicable to your organization. Here's where the description goes. You can put some tags. These categories and tags and so forth are all designed to assist in searchability, so that if a person comes to the site, it's easy to find the things that they want to look for. There's some additional information specific to the course. Here's where the book data goes. You can drag and drop an image into the system, and it uploads it. And here's where we have the information about the instructor. So also the instructor needs to be input into the system first, and then you can select from this long list. So everybody that's done anything touching OpenCourseWare at our university has an entry here. And we've just selected this particular person here. Now, you can have several individuals that are connected to this course. You might have multiple authors that have collaborated in preparing some content or in teaching a course. Then down here, we specify the university, obviously, the school, and the department. Here's a nice photo, which you saw earlier on the home page for the course, and then the Open License Editor to select the specific Creative Commons licensing that you want to apply for this course. Down here, we have templates, and you can actually choose from 6 different layouts. Let's see, I think Larry wants to make a comment. Go ahead.
I just want to make a broad comment, because you're going through it, and I want people to understand what the overlying idea here, and you're just about to go to the templates. But the notion is that what we've done is we've created specific forms for adding the information that you might need for an author, for a course, for a specific license that you're going to use. All of those are based on forms, and then they come together on this back end in a graphical way where it becomes very easy to combine and reuse them. So once you've created an object with a form, you've essentially got it forever and can transfer it to a new course or anything like that with the easier than you can with most LMSs, I'd have to say. And I didn't mean to interrupt because you're getting to an important point about the use of templates that give you the graphical look and feel. But that's just another illustration then of the flexibility of the system.
Right, thanks, Larry. Excellent points. And the bottom line really is that it's flexible and it's customizable. So down here we have an additional element, which is what we call arbitrary content. So in addition to the layout that we've already seen on the front end, you can add various elements. You can add some text, you can add an image, and you can add actually a YouTube connection, a YouTube link down here. So what this lets you do is it lets you customize even further to your organization's particular needs. All right, so let's go back and let's go over here and we'll look at the next element, which is categories. I mentioned that already. A category reflects the academic structure of your organization, and as I mentioned, it helps searchers find the particular material that they want to find. It's hierarchically organized, and the functions that the backend lets you do is do the usual things: editing, adding new categories, and so forth. So let me take you back to the backend here. Here's our dashboard. As I said, this is the grand central place for all the functionality on the back end. We'll click on categories, and here you can see how we have organized the various topics of the various programs that we offer here at UCI. So what's nice about this is that you can add new ones. So this might be a new topic. And there it is. I need to learn how to spell topic, but there it is. And this lets you drag and move them around. They can be at a high end over here, or if you put it somewhere in the middle, it indents it, which allows you to apply some kind of a structure to the way it's presented. Okay, let's not keep that misspelled topic there. And you'll see how easy it is to manipulate this. Everything can be dragged and moved around really in any organizational structure that you want. Next, we have what we call universities, and we're following pretty much kind of the standard terminology, the standard nomenclature. But if your organization is a little bit different, just keep that in mind. You can still fit whatever you have into the way the system is laid out here. So the difference, and this is very important to keep in mind, the difference between universities and categories is that a university reflects an administrative structure. So very often the administrative structure has some of the same kinds of names that you'll see in course topics, like a department of physics, for example. Everybody knows what physics is. But in some cases, you might have something that's a little bit different and maybe not self-explanatory. For example, at UC Riverside, they have something called the College of Natural and Agricultural Sciences. And so that by itself is not sufficiently explanatory. And so that's why we need to have the categories that might drill down further on those specific topics. However, when we talk about faculty members or instructors, we need to connect them to specific departments within universities. So let me show you how that works. Let's go back to the dashboard, and over here we have universities. And one thing you'll notice right off the bat is that, moving a couple of things out of the way on my screen here so I can move down, you'll notice that we don't only have UCI, we have other universities. Lots of other universities here. So what this means is that if you have perhaps a multi-campus organization where you have different universities and different campuses, California State colleges with different campuses and so forth, then you can customize it for each individual campus. So what we've done is we have, let me just do an edit here, and the slanted pencil always means edit. So we can go down and edit the name of the university. We can add schools. Actually, up here we can add schools, or we can add departments. within the school. So you'll see kind of that hierarchical, the universities at the top, and then you have individual schools, or colleges, as they call it at UC Riverside. That's the College of Natural and Agricultural Sciences, and then the departments. All right, now we're getting to the human element. So we have the instructors, the faculty members, and information about individuals can go into the system as well. And you saw that that had to be put in first, so that when you're setting up a course, that you can select from the drop down. And let's go here to persons. And as I mentioned, everybody who has touched open education here at UCI has an entry here. And in fact, in our case, it goes beyond UCI. You just saw that there are many different campuses, different colleges represented, universities represented. And so anybody who has any content in our system will have an entry here. So just like we saw for courses and for every element, you'll see a form that you fill out with information about the individual. And then here, this is why the university's capability is important, because you can have all the different departments. You know, one person might be on the faculty of more than one university, or might have a joint appointment in several schools or several departments. All right, now we come to how we draw it all together. So what you've seen so far is that all the different pieces have been uploaded into the system, and now we're going to connect everything together to create that home page that we saw. And I've got a kind of a slightly humorous example here of an example course. And so so here's my course, and I'm going to show you exactly how this works. So remember, there's some content that was appearing on the left side, and right now it's pretty sparse. There's not even any course lectures. So I'm going to show you how all of that works. The way you do it is you go back to the, we don't want to do that. We want to go to this. And so let's go and look for that course on creators. There it is. So here's the course, and I'm going to click on the join button. All right. So remember, I'm going to be flipping back and forth between what the user sees. Let's go back to the let's go back to the course. There it is. All right. So here's what the user sees on the front end, and here's what you, the administrator, would see on the back end. So right now we have course lectures as a header. You can add various headers to help organize your content. So we might have we have lectures. We might have homework assignments, whatever you like. It's completely flexible. So there it is. And then these are you can drag and drop these to reorganize them. So now let's start finding some content. Fortunately, I've already loaded some content, and I'm going to do some filtering here. Now, at the top, you can filter by names of people, by authors, but you can also go down and filter by categories. And if you go even further down, you can filter by language, look for things in a specific language, and then finally by university. So in this case, I'm going to be the author. So there we go. So there I am. And so here are all of the things that I have uploaded into the system. And let's find things that are relevant for this particular course. All right, so here we have some background information. Let's move that over. And here we have, here's a homework assignment. And what else? How about a test file? What the heck? Let's move that over. All right, so what you'll see is that by clicking the arrows here, you can easily bring things into the course, and then you can move them around. So let's have the homework assignment heading come down here, and we'll put homework under that. Test file can go anywhere. It's just sort of a placeholder. We have some background information, so let's create a label, or actually not a label, but a header. And we're going to say background. Let's say maybe background reading. How's that? Background reading. So there it is. So we'll move this down here. Let's have it above homework. And then we'll move the background information down here. See how easy it is to drag and drop? Now we need some lectures. So let's see. I don't have any good lectures easily available, so we'll borrow this one from the arts. How's that? We'll just click that one over here and move that there. And so now what you're seeing is that I'm organizing the content with headers. We also have something called a label. And I'll show you how that works. We'll call it, let's put test files. And so that also gets moved into the hierarchical structure here. So we'll put test files down here. We'll put homework up here. So now I've got this laid out pretty much as I'd like to see it. And let's, that looks pretty good. Let's go back to the front end and see how it looks. So let me refresh the page. And now all of a sudden we have okay, let me go back here and this will cooperate. Oh, very important point. Let's go back here and let's do a save. All right, this is a good lesson for me and for everyone. When you make changes, you got to save them. All right, so now I can refresh the page. And all right, hold on. Let's get this going. Start the course. And now you can see that the course lectures and the background reading and so forth are now part of the structure. So there's the lecture. I just happened to grab this lecture, but this is a placeholder to show you how it works. We have the background reading, and then here you can see how the label winds up in the middle here. So keep that in mind. So the headers come up on the left side, and then the labels come up here on the right side within the sort of as a indented element of a header. Okay. And so then these are items that have been uploaded. They could be PDF files, they could be Word documents, really any kind of file that you can upload into the system is what's fair game here. Okay? See how easy that was. Now looking at the back end, here we have the fundamental database structure for those of you who are into database organization, and you can see all the things we've been talking about. See, here's universities, collections, courses, everything has a table. Here's a joins table, which is the central point that links everything together. And really everything has a table, and so that's sort of how it's organized on the back side. Now, a couple of additional functions I'd like to bring up. And they are these three here, so let me just go through these. Let's go back to our dashboard. So which one did I have first? I had testimonials first, so let's look at testimonials. Testimonials is actually a very nice feature. If you look at, I'm going to jump back to the the front end. So notice that each page has a button that says provide a testimonial. So if a person clicks on that, they can provide some information about themselves and then write something nice about the course. You know, this course helped me a lot, this lecture helped me a lot, this file was particularly useful, and any element has the ability for a student to, or a user to go in and provide a testimonial. Once they do that, the testimonials are accumulated in this one table over here, and then we can look at it. We like testimonials like this one, and if we want to have it display on the site, we can make it visible by enabling it here. What's next? Contact requests. All right, so if you go back to let's go back to the home page. So here's a place where you can enter some information and request contact, and that also is accumulated in a table like this. And so we can go down here and people can ask questions. I mean, obviously you have to judiciously choose how much time you spend with this, but it is a way that you can collect feedback, collect information, and we'll scan down this and we'll respond accordingly. So that's another nice capability that's built right in to the system. All right, what's the last thing we have? Promotions. Promotions is kind of a nice little feature because what we can do, and in fact, let me go back to this to our test site here, and let me show you how that looks. I've got more promotions built in there. So you can create a promotion, and the idea is really a way that you can put something on any page. You can select the page on which it appears, and then have it linked to something. So you might have maybe an advertising for an event, or maybe a call for donations. It's a great way to monetize your open educational resources. It lets you link a specific page or something on your site to a way to request and solicit funds, and that's one of the applications to which we're using it here. In fact, I have a little bit of a demonstration on that. Let me go back to our courses. We'll do arts, and we'll do it's either this one, I think it's this one, History of Ancient Music. So let's see, it wasn't the History of Ancient Music, it was History of Symphonic Music. There we go. So here's a promotion, and you can enable the promotion so that it goes to another website. In this case, I have it going to the UCI Extension website. You could have it go anywhere you want. You can specify that. All right, so where do you get it? Well, right now we're working with our developers and having it set up and uploaded into GitHub so that you'll be able to search for it and then download it from GitHub. We'll provide more information and more details on how to do that as we get it. It's in the works right now. All right. Larry, any additional comments?
You have to unmute me. Stefano?
Yes.
You can hear me now, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So I wanted to just make a couple of comments. One is this issue of reusability is very important. So once you create anything with a form, it gets to be reused again and again and again. The second point I want to make is that this site supports business models. So one of the things that we look at is how do we support the actual projects. And we've come up with a couple of ways. One is by actually linking to sites in which people can buy other books, for example, by the same professor. or even something that's not released with a Creative Commons license within a given class if they want all of the materials that aren't, and some of them aren't provided because they're only commercially available. So all of a sudden you can actually develop a business model in which you get a certain % from whatever your vendor is in return for the referrals. A second issue would be to get donations, and as you mentioned this earlier, Stefano, but the idea of the testimonials becomes very important, and it's configured so that you can put a testimonial on a whole category page. You can put, so it appears as people go through the hierarchical search, or you can put a specific testimonial on a specific page. And I think MIT probably does this better than anyone, where they offer people a chance to sponsor, or they call it a sponsorship, I think, of an individual professor, an individual course, etc. And the way this is done is that we allow these testimonials to actually link to external pages. So you can also offer somebody the chance to provide a longer testimonial. You have to be careful who you link to, but in this case, you could quite easily say that somebody has a paragraph inside the testimonial or less than a paragraph, but there's a link that then takes them to an explanation. When I was studying with this professor, he helped me more than anybody else. This is a great course, and I'm proud to sponsor it. So you can do a variety of things like that, and you could even imagine requesting from corporate donors sponsorships of various collections that you might have. So all of that is intended to provide opportunities for business models. And so that is sort of a unique offering. And the fact that this is an easy piece of software to run with a staff of 1, 2, 3 people makes it unique. And the last thing I want to say is that there was, for a long time, people used EduCommons, and it's still out there, and it's open source, and it's a good piece of software. But the only problem now is that there's no support options. So it's our intention to provide information to you about support options for this. We're not going to do that as UCI, but the software developers will, and we'll be providing information down the road with precise pricing and things like that you might be interested in. So those are my couple of points. Thanks, Stefano, for a great explanation.
All right. Well, thanks, Larry, for those excellent additional points, kind of summarizing not only the functionality of the tool, but also some ways that it can be used. All right. Well, I think that about does it for our presentation today. And if you have any additional questions that you can think of offline, you can send us an email. We have an email address, easy to remember, open@uci.edu. And please, by all means, visit our website, open.uci.edu. We'd like to make things nice and simple so we can remember them and so that all of you can remember them. That's it. Thanks very much for your attention. Appreciate all of you spending time with us this morning, and we look forward to seeing you online.